Hello, Marching Mizzou, and welcome to another video of the Marching Mizzou Health and Safety series. In this video, we will discuss sun, heat, and hydration. Specific topics for this video include the following: sunburn, as well as UV and sunscreen, skin cancer, vision damage, dehydration, as well as a hydration calculation, heat stroke, and heat exhaustion. A sunburn is caused by too much exposure to ultraviolet light. UV light may be from the sun or from artificial sources, like sun lamps and tanning beds. UVA is the wavelength of light that can penetrate the deep layers of your skin and lead to lengthened skin damage over time. UVB is the wavelength of light that penetrates the skin on the superficial layers and causes a visible sunburn. The UV light damages skin cells, and the immune system reacts by increasing blood flow to the affected areas, which causes that inflamed skin known as sunburn. You can get sunburn on cool or cloudy days because surfaces like snow, sand, and water can reflect UV rays and burn your skin. Ultraviolet radiation is a form of non-ionizing radiation that is emitted by the sun. Our natural source of UV radiation is the sun itself, and some artificial sources of UV radiation are tanning beds, mercury vapor lighting, some halogen fluorescent and incandescent lights, and some types of lasers. Some signs of sunburn are as follows. You can have inflamed skin, which on white skin will look pink or red, and it may be harder to see on colored skin. Skin that feels warm or hot to the touch is a sure sign of sunburn. Even if it doesn't look like it's hot, it might feel like it. That also can cause pain, tenderness, and itching, and it is advised that you do not scratch sunburns. You also can see skin swelling, as well as small fluid-filled blisters, which may break. Leave the blisters alone, or else you run a risk of infection. You also might feel headache, gain a fever, have nausea and fatigue, and you might have eyes that feel painful or gritty. Some people who might have an increased risk of sunburn are people who have lighter skin and red hair, if you have a history of sunburn, as well as people who are regularly exposed and put their unprotected skin to UV light, especially if you're in intense sun for long amounts of time, and you have an even higher risk if you're exposed to natural sunlight as well as UV rays. There are also some types of medication that are photosensitizing, which means that you can sunburn easily based on that type of medication. Any exposed part of the body, including your earlobes, your scalp, your lips, and your eyes, can burn. You can even have sunburns if your skin is covered. For example, if your clothing has a loose weave that allows ultraviolet light to go through. The eyes, especially, are extremely sensitive to the sun's UV light. Sunburn symptoms often appear within a few hours after extreme sun exposure, and within a few days, the body might start to heal itself by peeling the damaged skin's top layer. A bad sunburn can take several days to a week to heal. Any lingering changes in skin color will usually go away with time. However, as we get towards skin cancer, I will touch on this again. Here I have a list of some bullet points by dermatologists that might help relieve the discomfort of a sunburn. When you're taking a bath or a shower, use cool water. Instead of rubbing a towel, gently pat yourself dry and leave a little bit of water on your skin to regain some moisture. Additionally, apply some moisturizer to help trap water within your skin to revitalize yourself after your sunburn. When picking a moisturizer, try and find one with aloe vera or soy to help soothe your skin. If you're having an extra uncomfortable sunburn, you might find a hydrocortisone cream that you can buy without a prescription. Do not treat sunburns with products that end in the suffix "-ane". Consider taking aspirin or ibuprofen to reduce any swelling, redness, or discomfort. Drink extra water. If your skin blisters, allow those blisters to heal. And finally, take extra care to protect sunburned skin while it heals. Wear clothing that covers your skin if you have a severe burn, and tightly woven fabrics often work the best. If you hold your fabric up to a bright light, you should not see any light coming through. One of the best ways to prevent sunburn is simply to wear sunscreen. You'll want to use a water-resistant, broad-spectrum lip balm and sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30. Broad-spectrum products offer protection against ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B rays. It's important that you apply your sunscreen 30 minutes before going outdoors. Yes, that means that if you're waking up at 7:30 to get to band camp, you're going to want to apply sunscreen 30 minutes before you go outside to be on the field. And you want to reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours, more often if you're swimming or perspiring. So, because we're all getting sweaty at band camp, you want to reapply your sunscreen anytime we have a water break. The FDA requires all sunscreen to retain its original strength for at least 3 years. You want to check your sunscreen labels for directions on storing and look for expiration dates. And please throw away your sunscreen if it is expired or if it's more than 3 years old. It's also important to note when a sunburn becomes dangerous. Please see a healthcare provider if you develop large blisters, if you experience severe and unusual swelling of the affected area, if you show signs of infection, such as purulent blisters. Purulent is just another word for a blister with pus. If you experience worsening pain, headache, confusion, nausea, fever, or chills. If you continue to get worse despite at-home care for your sunscreen. And if you have extreme eye pain and vision changes. Seek immediate medical care if you are sunburned and experience a fever over 103 degrees Fahrenheit with vomiting, confusion, an infection, dehydration, cold skin, and dizziness. At this age, I hope we're all aware that extreme sun exposure can lead to skin cancer. Precancerous skin lesions are rough and scaly patches of skin that have been damaged by the sun. They're often found in the most sun-exposed areas, like your head, face, neck, and the hands of people whose skin burn easily. These patches can evolve into skin cancer. They are also called actinic keratoses and solar keratoses. Excessive sun exposure, even without sunburn, increases your risk of skin cancer, such as melanomas. That is because it damages the DNA of your skin cells and causes them to mutate. Sunburns in childhood and adolescence may increase your risk of melanomas later in life. Skin cancer develops mainly on areas of the body, like the scalp, face, lips, ears, neck, chest, arms, hands, leg, and back for everyone, regardless of if you're burned easily. Sun exposure and repeated sunburns can speed up the skin's aging process, which also plays a role in your risk of developing skin cancer. Skin changes caused by UV light is called photoaging. The results of photoaging include the following: weakening of connective tissues, which reduces the skin's strength and elasticity, deep wrinkles, rough skin, fine red veins on the cheek, nose, and ears, freckles on the face and shoulders, and dark or discolored patches that may be anywhere that sun regularly hits your body. On this slide, I have some pictures of different types of skin cancers, as well as a chart that is helpful for detecting potential melanomas. If you are concerned that you have a potentially cancerous skin lesion on your body, please speak to a doctor immediately. Too much UV light exposure to your eye can damage your cornea. Sun damage to the lens of your eye can also lead to clouding of your cataracts. Sunburned eyes, as mentioned before, might feel painful or gritty. Sunburn of the cornea is also called snow blindness, despite there maybe not being snow on the ground. This type of damage might be caused by the sun, welding, tanning lamps, or broken mercury vapor lamps. When choosing sunglasses, you'll want to choose a pair with UVA and UVB protection. Check the UV rating on the label when buying new glasses. Just because they're darker lenses doesn't mean that they give you better UV protection. It also helps to wear sunglasses that sit close to your face or have wraparound frames. One of the biggest concerns for every band director, every parent of a band kid, and hopefully every student attending band camp is dehydration. Dehydration occurs when your body loses more fluid than it brings in. When the normal water content of your body is reduced, it upsets the balance of minerals in your body, which affects the way it functions. And dehydration has lots of downstream consequences that can be serious or even fatal. Water makes up over 2/3 of a healthy human body. It lubricates the joints, your eyes, it aids digestion, flushes out waste and toxins, and it keeps your skin healthy. Early warning signs of dehydration are feeling thirsty or lightheaded, a dry mouth, tiredness, having dark colored, strong smelling urine, or passing urine less often. Some people will claim that the recommended amount of water you should drink per day is 6 to 8 ounces, but that does not factor in exercise. Your exercise habits affect the amount of water you should be drinking. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends adding 12 ounces of water to your daily intake for every 30 minutes that you plan to work out. So let's do some math. This equation on the left is simply how much water you should drink before we factor in physical activity. So you take your weight times 0.5, and that is the amount of water per day you should drink measured in ounces. How much water you should drink with physical activity is expressed by this equation on the right. Taking your answer from this first calculation, you will take your previous answer and add that to the number of minutes per exercise divided by 30 minutes times 12 ounces. When you add those two numbers together, that is the number of ounces of water you should be drinking per day, depending on how much exercise you're doing. Heat stroke is a very serious heat-related illness. It occurs when the body can no longer regulate its own temperature, so the body temperature will rise rapidly, your sweating mechanism will fail, and your body is unable to cool down. When heat stroke occurs, the body temperature can rise to 106 degrees Fahrenheit or higher in just 10 to 15 minutes. Heat stroke can cause permanent disability or death if a person does not receive proper emergency treatment. Symptoms of heat stroke include confusion, altered mental status, and slurred speech, loss of consciousness, hot, dry skin or profuse sweating, seizures, very high body temperature, and again, it can be fatal if treatment is delayed. Heat exhaustion is the body's response to an excessive loss of water and salt, usually because of excessive sweating. Heat exhaustion is most likely to affect the elderly, people with high blood pressure, and those working in a hot environment. Symptoms of heat exhaustion include headache, nausea, dizziness, weakness, irritability, thirst, heavy sweating, elevated body temperature, and decreased urine output. If you are concerned that someone is going to have a heat stroke or is suffering from heat exhaustion, here are some steps to treat a person who is exposed to dangerous heat. If you think that 911 is needed, call for emergency care. It's better safe than sorry, especially in cases of heat stroke. Stay with that person until emergency medical services arrive. In the meantime, move that person to a shaded and cool area and remove outer clothing if they are wearing layers. You want to cool them with water by hydrating them, by wetting the skin, or by putting wet cloths on the skin. You can even soak their clothing in cool water, and you can circulate the air around them to speed up the cooling process. If you are going to place wet cloths on them, you can put them on the head, neck, armpits, and groin. It's important that you use cool water and not cold water because you do not want to shock the body when it is already having trouble maintaining its heat homeostasis. Thank you for completing the Marching Mizzou Health and Safety series covering sun, heat, and hydration. And keep in mind during band camp to wear your sunscreen, don't forget to wear clothes that save you from the sun, and always hydrate.